friends. Welcome to the Creative Impact Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Caldwell, and I'm so happy you're here. Each episode, I take some time to chat with fellow artists about life, faith, and the impact of the arts.
But we always got to open one present on Christmas.
That's right.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
And we were very careful about which one it is. We were,
Because you'd always want
sizing that up.
the one that you were eyeballing, but then they'd end up giving you underwear on Christmas Eve. Or your lovely sister, which I won't say which one,
Fortunately, there's three.
wrapped your belt in a tube so you thought it was a poster that you wanted.
Oh, you guys, Merry Christmas. I can't believe we are to the week of Christmas. Christmas is only a few days away, and I'm so excited for today's episode, which is a very special episode because this is the first time I've had more than 3 people as part of the conversation on the podcast. Today is our final episode in the Family Christmas series. We're going to wrap up today with a super fun group conversation with my mom's side of the family for a Lingerfelt Family Christmas. My grandma Lingerfelt, my mom, 2 aunts, and my uncle join me for a fun-filled time of sharing Christmas memories and traditions. You guys get ready to laugh. We chat about everything from finding the perfect Christmas tree to fruitcake, and there may even be some singing involved. Just a heads up, around 23 minutes into the show, we have a little conversation about Santa, and you may want to fast forward if you have little ears listening. I know this Christmas season looks very different for so many of us, and no matter where you find yourself this Christmas, may this conversation warm your heart and highlight the heart of this season, faith, family, and the beauty that is found in the small things. Grab some hot cocoa and join us for a Lingerfelt Family Christmas. Welcome everyone to the podcast. So excited to have you. So there's a lot of us here. So I'm going to let everyone kind of go around and introduce yourselves. And just for those that are listening, I'm here with my amazing family. And I have basically my aunts and uncle on my mom's side of the family, which is the Lingerfelt family. So maybe we'll go in age order. Does that sound good? So do we want to start with grandma and then we can go like oldest to youngest?
That sounds appropriate.
Yes, you are the oldest mom.
and wisest, right? So
Absolutely, right.
Hi, well, I'm the grandma and the mom, and so I am now in a lovely, lovely retirement area here in Portland and Oregon. And of course, we've gone through all the shutdowns and open ups and shut down again because of the virus. But we are happy. We haven't had one single person in our residence who got any illness at all. So we've been very pleased. And, you were just, from what we talked about a while back, thinking about, our background. Well, I'm the youngest of my family. There's my mom and dad, of course. My dad was Al Gardner and my mom was, she was Donna, D-O-N-A, but she didn't like it. She wants to be called Donna. That's Donna Williams. And they were married when right young, and they had, my goodness, what a lovely family. My sister, my brother, and me. And I was the baby. And, of course, Jen and Sonny are gone now for several years. So I'm really the tail end of that family. Uncles and aunts have all gone. So I guess I am just about the last of the Mohicans when it comes to our family.
I know a little bit about that you were involved a lot in the arts, but you ended up in like film and theater, right? When you were studying.
My work at Baylor University was in drama and theater. And my first job was with a film company based in California, in Pasadena. And actually that's where I met my husband, Joe.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you guys met?
Oh, it was a lovely story. I was in a young adult group, and we were in the church, and this was a group that met on Friday nights for Bible studies. And there was this young man that came in late every Friday night. Friday night after Friday night, he was coming in late. And he always looked freshly scrubbed and everything. But I turned to someone one day and I said, why in the world? And who is this guy? He comes late every Friday. And they said, well, that's Joe Lingerfelt. And he plays football for Caltech. And they play on Friday nights.
Uh-huh.
So he would, after he took his shower, he would hightail it in his rickety. He had an old Ford. But that was important because that Ford played an important part in our life. And but he would come in and I said, well, what is his name? And they said, Joe Lingerfelt. I said, that's the silliest name I ever heard. I never heard of a Lingerfelt.
Exactly.
Anyway, I walked from where I was living in Pasadena to the Bible study, which was at night, and it was about 3 blocks. And Joe said, oh, no, it wouldn't be safe for you to walk at night. He says, you can ride. I'll take you.
Yeah,
So
I'll take you. That
First
seems
of
nice.
many rides in his jalopy, his old Ford, which he had half built himself. And then we were in the choir together. And he said, well, there's no reason why I shouldn't pick you up and take you to choir. So that started. We went to choir every Thursday night.
Aw.
We got to be really good.
Papa had the moves, Mama.
Yes.
We got to be really good friends. Very
It was
good.
very smooth, it sounds like. I might as well drive you to choir, you know.
We loved taking, we'd take walk in the village and the woods and got to know each other. We found that a lot of our things were similar. He had an aunt and uncle who were missionaries in South America, and that just won him lots of brownie points with my family because they were strong Southern Baptists.
And they're like, he sounds like a good man.
They were Southern Baptists. So,
good family, yeah.
Yeah. So he passed that test, and then anyway, we just we did everything in groups. Every Thursday night, he would pick me up and take me. And then we began to go out with a group on Sunday nights. That was a big event too. And more. But you see, our group, the guys had decided that no one would date. And we kind of broke that tradition down.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, we started dating and it worked out pretty well. We got married within about a year and a half. And we were married on March the 31st.
Aw, that's so great.
I think you were his one and only love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really sweet.
First love, only love.
Aw. Well, and then that led to a really beautiful family. And y'all had 4 kids who are all here tonight. So that's really fun. And why don't we start maybe with Aunt Helen, since you're the oldest, if you want to just share a little bit about yourself and kind of what you're up to now. And then we'll kind of get back into sort of family and Christmas memories.
By the way, Helen, I just found a really cute baby picture of you. I've been going through pictures.
Well, I am Helen, and I was named after my great Aunt Helen, who played such a large role in my mom's life. Currently, we're living in Prescott, Arizona. My husband is Mike. We have 2 beautiful girls. My job actually brought us here. I was an itinerant teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing, serving school-age children. I kind of switched my emphasis in my career a few years ago. I switched from being in the school-age program, traveling from school district to school district, to serving families of newborns through age 3.
Oh, nice.
Loving it to pieces. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, thanks for sharing. And I guess we'll move to my mom, which is Julie or Julia, whichever you want to go with.
Yeah, I guess my legal name is Julia, but I go by Julie to most people who know me more informally and not in business. So Julie Dean, and I have an incredible hubby that God blessed me with later in life, Bobby. I have 4 children, 2 of my own. So I'm an attorney and I do estate planning and probate and guardianship and elder law primarily. And it's my passion. I love it. I just love meeting with people and helping them proactively to take care of their estate plans and also compassionately to come alongside someone going through a very hard time in passing of a loved one or an incapacity of a loved one. So that's my primary area.
Yeah, thanks. So I think next up will be Aunt Donna, who also I think has a namesake that Grandma mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so I was named after my grandmother, Donna, and then she didn't like it, so it's Donna with 1 N. So I guess I'm the baby girl of the family.
Yeah.
And I'm a mom. I have 4 kids and I'm a grandma. I've got 1 grandson and nurse practitioner. I work in neonatal intensive care and I love that. I love that. I'm never bummed out about having to go to work. I always love going to work. And
That's awesome.
It's an honor to be a part of launching a lifetime. I think that's me.
So fun. Thanks for sharing. And then I have my Uncle Joey to round us out here.
That's me.
Yeah.
Joseph Allen Lingerfelt, which I just have I'm not really named after anybody, but I have derivatives of those names. So my dad was Joe, but not a Joseph. So I'm not technically named after him. And my grandfather was Alfred, not technically an Allen. So I was kind of named after him, but not really. So that's me. I'm the youngest, the only boy, the one and only.
Yep.
So I'm a corporate pilot. I fly for a corporation in Eugene, Oregon. It's a plywood company, and I am their chief pilot, captain of their corporate jet. And that's been my passion my entire life. So I'm one of the lucky ones who gets to do my dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful girls. And I don't know what else about me.
That's great. And it's kind of cool because everyone kind of ended up in different industries, but all like things that y'all are very passionate about, which is so cool. Well, thanks everybody for sharing and introducing yourselves. And Grandma, I would love to hear, as everyone was growing up and everything, do you want to share just a few of like the main like Lingerfelt family values that you tried to instill?
Well, I think a lot of it was from what we saw in his family because they were, I think, a very close family, very devoted to one another and very concerned about education. And that was important for us. And we like to see our kids do and be all that they could be. And we loved it when they were up on a stage performing or if they were, somewhere working on a paper. But we were very, very interested in what the kids would do and what they would become. And we wanted the best for them. And we were never disappointed because they were always trying hard.
Yeah. And you can see that passion in every single one, and following that.
Each of them had high goals. And I think,
yes,
I see that in my own family, but I got to see Joe's family up close because my family, by the time I married, so many of them were, gone. I do want to mention my Aunt Helen, who was very important in my life. And she was in Christian education and she guided me to a lot of choices that I made. And she helped me in every way and, encouragement and financially. And sadly, she left us all too early. But but we had a crazy family. I mean, we got together with the Gardeners. They were just nuts. They were crazy. Big family, like to eat and very loud.
Nice.
Like to tell stories, as I remember.
Stories, yeah.
Lots of stories. And Aunt Jan would like to exaggerate those stories a lot.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I'm excited. Hopefully we'll get a few fun stories like that today.
Just to make them good. Make them really good.
Yes. Well, I'm curious to hear from the kids. What did Christmas look like growing up for you guys?
Big trees.
Ooh, yeah.
We had that great living room with the great big view, the big windows out the front, and we'd always try to get not that Papa liked it very much, but we always tried to get the biggest tree, and we got some ridiculously big trees.
He always accused me of getting the biggest one.
Well, you were always saying that we always picked the tree I selected too.
I think we all felt that way.
I remember one year we got a ponderosa pine that has really long needles. We hiked out in the middle of the woods and it just ate all of the Christmas ornaments.
Yeah.
Like we put the Christmas ornaments on and it didn't look like there was anything on there. And so we just kept buying more and more Christmas ornaments to put on this tree because it just like the needles were so long, everything just sucked in.
I forgot about that. I guess that's why we have so many ornaments.
They're still there too.
That's so funny.
I still have a
They're
lot.
still in many
That's awesome.
boxes.
But that was always one of my favorite things was going out. We would get a tree permit and go out to the woods and cut the tree down usually in the snow. Yeah.
Usually snowstorm.
The Datsun pickup truck bouncing along on those heavy duty shocks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you all remember being at Christmas pageants at the church? I seem to find myself often directing the annual big Christmas event.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, all of my kids were in it in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
In a very, very important role, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Very, yeah.
Appa was a shepherd one year, and I always remember his line, "I'm old and cold and halfway to the grave." Yeah, we were always involved in them.
Well, one year I put one together. I kind of created one, because we couldn't find a good one, so we kept adapting it. But I thought it came out pretty well. I was very pleased with our Christmas presentations.
Uh-huh.
Mom was always the director, producing everything, and just kind of consumed all of the Christmas time in a lot of ways. But we were all involved, so it was a lot of fun.
That's super fun.
And when we weren't involved in the church Christmas pageants or, the choral program or whatever, Papa was always singing in the Messiah or a Christmas cantata. And so the arts were always involved in Christmas, always a big part of it. And being in band and choir, and even now in my adult life, I sing in a small ensemble, and it's just and church choirs, and it's always been one of the biggest parts of my Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of my favorite is Christmas Eve, when we would all be in there and we'd all do different things, and it was always creative. It was either some kind of drama or reading or someone playing an instrument or singing.
Yes,
of course, you have to bring up Donna.
Performance.
She had the most infamous Christmas song. So, Donna, you have to explain it and sing it.
Yes, I would love to have this for the world.
Gosh. So this was the song that I learned in kindergarten, I think, or preschool. And it was When Santa Goes to Mexico. And so that was my thing. I had these little reindeer antler things, and I would sing.
You could give us a few bars.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first you have to set the scene, because you had the antlers, but they were hidden by a sombrero.
A sombrero. Oh, yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that. Okay. So I'd come out with my sombrero on and I would sing, "When Santa goes to Mexico, he brings a reindeer called Pablo. Pablo can sing and dance and play. He leads the reindeer all the way. Pablo can do the cha-cha-cha. He makes the children laugh, ha-ha. All the muchachos shout, ole! Pablo, please hurry back someday."
Bravo.
So, and that ole, the sombrero came off, and there were my antlers.
And you uncover, yes. Yeah.
Hey, that was our favorite one. We couldn't wait for Donna to do that.
But that was a tradition that went on for a long
Every
time.
year.
It did, because I remember that one, because that was one of our favorite traditions that came around.
Yeah, it didn't stop when we grew up. I remember Joey played the trumpet and Helen the clarinet. And you played clarinet too, didn't you?
Yeah, Donna played clarinet.
And then I played flute, and we all played the piano to some degree. And so
Yes, sir.
Joey, it was chopsticks.
Here we go up the road to a birthday party. I got that one.
Oh, that was great.
So it was fun.
So fun.
Joey
That's
liked to do
awesome.
the plays a lot too, and drama.
And that definitely rubbed off on all the grandkids, because I know we've been known to put on a play or two ourselves
Just a
that
couple.
are pretty elaborate.
Every time
Quite
we got
maybe.
together.
Yes, there.
Yes, pretty much anytime we got together, it would be, putting together some sort of play or dance performance,
On a
or,
stage.
Yes, we would find a
I got
stage.
that.
You have to tell them about the Thanksgiving one. I know it's Christmas, but the Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Thanksgiving recently passed, but there was one year we were in Portland for Thanksgiving, and I think it was the majority of the cousins were together, And so I think my older sister, Bethany, she's the oldest. So she was kind of the ringleader, I guess, of the plays and things. But she put together a whole script of this Thanksgiving play about the turkey.
Is that the one we did at the church too? Because it was so big.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the church.
Yeah, you
Took
guys
over
would
the
always
church.
you guys would always make me and Shelby be the bad guys.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Hayden. That was Hayden, my cousin. And she was the next oldest after me. So that was always really fun. We were hanging out together and yeah, super fun play. I can't quite remember what happened except the farmer chasing the turkey. And maybe Hayden, were you the farmer?
Yes.
But that was fun. And we literally had the stage, like Uncle Joey said, because we were at the church and they had like the platform stage. So we were up there. That was really fun. So that was probably one of the most epic times. And then I also remember on Aunt Donna, on your like entry in your steps to y'all's house, we did a big dance performance one time. And it felt like a cool stage too.
Yep.
So all of that definitely passed on.
But we found out any place can be a stage when you want it to be. Yeah. We found that out very quickly. Yeah.
So one of my Christmas memories is Kmart and the blue light special.
Oh, yeah.
Started when Joey was a baby.
On Christmas Eve, Mom and Dad would just like disappear at about 4 p.m, and they'd come home probably at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, having hit every single blue light special I'm sure that happened in Kmart, and just with mountains and mountains of stuff.
A train set.
And then I'm
Mostly
sure
for
that
Joey,
they were always up to
toys.
about 3 or 4 a.m. wrapping presents.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Being elves in the bedroom or whatever.
And then get woken up as soon as they could by me.
Oh yeah. That's the way to
yes.
go for sure.
But we still had to have our Christmas tradition of everybody doing something musical or drama or whatever. And then Grandpa would read, or our dad would read the Christmas story.
Right.
And that was really special.
That was the tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always be.
And was that before you would do stockings or gifts or anything? Or would you do stockings before?
Stockings came
A lot of times
in the
that was on
morning.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas morning.
So
though.
Christmas Eve, a lot of
yeah.
times, or maybe later on Christmas Day, we would do a little performance.
But we always got to open one present on Christmas Eve.
That's right.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
And we were very careful about which one it is. We were,
Yes, because you'd always want
sizing that up.
the one that you were eyeballing, but then they'd end up giving you underwear on Christmas Eve.
Underwear
Or your
pajamas.
lovely sister, which I won't say which one,
Fortunately, there's 3.
wrapped your belt in a tube so you thought it was a poster that you wanted.
Oh.
Of Grand Stand.
Oh,
No.
It was such a
well,
difficult one.
Joey, you were the central part of one of my favorite Christmas memories.
Me?
Yeah, because I was 11 when you were born, and you just kind of brought new, fresh eyes to Christmas for me, being a little bit older. But we would always drive around looking at Christmas lights.
Yep.
And one year we were driving through Flagstaff, and we were in a neighborhood in West Flagstaff, I believe. And
Greenlaw.
front door came Santa. And he ran out the front door and he jumped on a motorcycle. And you were motorcycle crazy and Santa crazy. And so we had to follow Santa on the motorcycle all through Flagstaff.
We did.
I do remember that.
Everywhere. I remember that really well. Do you remember that, Joey?
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah,
that was one of the last like big Christmases that I remember thinking there's still Santa and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, I remember a fun thing when Grandma Lingerfelt lived with us. One time, it was, let's go see the Christmas lights. And she wanted to go. So we got in the car and we drove all over our part of Flagstaff looking at lights. And Grandmother Lingerfelt was right. She was always up for a good time. She lived with us for a while, a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And then she couldn't take our altitude anymore.
That was another Christmas tradition because for years, Grandma and Grandpa earlier in the fall would make fruitcake, and Grandpa would make these wood boxes, and then Grandma would put the fruitcake in there. And so usually about a week or two before Christmas, here came the fruitcake. I can't say
Nobody liked it that much.
I was going to say, I can't say that I liked the fruitcake, but
No, we didn't like it.
I loved it. I didn't know why everybody was making fun of fruitcakes, all these years, because I loved it.
It was good.
Heavy.
I would poke the fruit out and eat like the loaf.
I was fine without that candied fruit stuff.
Yeah. But only Dad could slice it, because he would slice it so thin and so even. And he could tell immediately if somebody snuck in there and cut a piece.
That's great. Yeah, because Papa was a mathematician, so he was very, I'm sure, precise. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Plus, he grew up with next to nothing, so this was really special.
Yeah,
to have the fruitcake.
That's really cool.
Those fruitcakes took hours and hours from Grandma and Grandpa Lingerfelt, and we were very thankful. But nobody really liked it that much, except Helen.
Yay, Helen!
Yay, Helen! That's good. I'm glad.
I would poke out the cherries, those candy cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can go.
We never threw any away, that's for sure. We always ate it.
Yeah.
And the other thing I always look forward to is Johanna Vocal, who we
Oh my gosh.
up, would send Honey. Yeah, she would send cookies, these incredibly yummy German Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
With Oblaten, right, Rachel?
Yeah, we found some at World Market recently.
World Market. It has Oblaten at the bottom. They call it something else, but it had the same kind of cookie. Of course, not as good as Oma's.
Oma started cooking. Oma is the one I lived with before, and Joe and I had our first date there.
Aww.
We had a lot of fun.
So cool. Love that. Yeah, it's fun thinking back, and it was neat because a lot of our early Christmases when, the cousins and I were young were in Flagstaff as well. So it was really fun. We got to kind of experience some of the traditions there. And
well, the Flagstaff house was the greatest house for Christmas.
Yes. It had this super cool loft area, which of course was our favorite to explore. And then it would snow there, which was very different for us coming from Texas, getting to have some snow at Christmas time. And definitely was cold. Everyone would huddle around the little floor heaters to kind of keep warm.
Our favorite place.
Yes.
With our robes or our coats over.
Our place sometimes.
Yes.
No, with the blanket over the register, and the whole blanket would blow up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how Donna got through college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
I have a vision of you sitting on top of the
Yeah.
heater blanket.
And I remember, so there was a little room that was kind of the TV room, sort of off the kitchen dining room. The den. There we go.
Joe built that connecting one wing of the house with the other.
Yes.
I loved it. That turned out to be my favorite room.
Yeah.
But that room didn't happen until after I got married because the wood on the wall we had put on as part of getting everything ready for my wedding.
Oh, cool.
And so then that stayed there, and they stained it when Dad enclosed it. But
that's so neat. I didn't realize that.
Growing up, it was, Joey, it was there, but for the rest of us, it really wasn't there.
Yeah.
Joey stained all that.
Mm-hmm. You helped actually make it happen.
I stained that whole wall.
I didn't think it would ever get finished. It started it for your wedding, and it took forever, but it got finished, and it was my favorite room. I sat there all the time.
Yeah, it was a fun room, and all of us grandkids, well, at least one year that I remember, we all kind of piled in there, with our sleeping bags and blankets and whatever. And I think we decided we were going to have a sleepover in there on Christmas Eve. And so, but of course I don't know how many of the cousins stayed awake, but a lot of us tried to stay awake. So we kind of pretended we were asleep, and then we would wait and listen and try to listen for the presents that were going under the tree.
I miss that house. It was my most favorite place.
Yeah, so many special memories. And I remember one year, I think it was Aunt Helen, you put together a Christmas tree skirt with all of our handprints.
Oh, I still have that. I put it out it's in my apartment. I still have it.
That was really special.
I love the house is big enough for all of the children and grandchildren and spouses and everything to be there.
It
just became a big, just a special time of family.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
I remember one year Helen also put together making Christmas ornaments. All the kids made Christmas ornaments with the.
We still put those on our tree.
Oh, they're on my tree right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did that. I think that was part of our birthday party for Jesus that year
Oh,
too.
yeah.
That's right. And we did the birthday cake and everything.
Yeah.
So fun. And I know sometimes we would try to go sledding on the hill in the front or in the back.
But we didn't have enough snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
So I remember our improvised sleds with the cardboard.
Oh yeah.
Tearing up the lawn sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think, Grandma, that you liked that very much. But it was fun memories.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Somebody was going to get hurt, coming down those hills.
Yeah.
But I missed that back. And remember, we had the deer that would come through the back. I don't know if you all remember, but I would be looking out the kitchen window and there would come 10, 12 deer coming through.
Wow.
I missed that.
I remember the skunks that would come to the back.
Oh, yeah.
We had a few.
The dogs who attracted those skunks.
Yeah.
Spray them.
Well, I remember sitting in the living room on the couch that was up against the big cathedral, windows.
Front window.
Looked up, and this mule deer face was right by the glass. And then we kept looking. Do you remember this moment? We kept looking, and there was like 3 or 4 in the front yard. And we looked, and there was a whole herd of them all the way around the house.
That was scary.
Whoa. It's like, hello.
They were supposed to be up the hill, and they came down to see what we were doing.
They're like, we want to join in the fun.
We heard there were some crazy people
Right up
down there.
against the glass.
I miss being in the kitchen and looking up, and I'd see my deer go by. I miss that.
Yeah. Well, that's super fun. Do y'all have any traditions that you love that you still do today, or new ones that you've created with your immediate families?
We made a skirt for our family. I made that same year. So we always use that. We do a new ornament, a dated ornament each year for the tree.
Oh, neat.
And we still keep the tradition of opening one gift on
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eve.
and reading the Christmas story before anybody touches their presents on Christmas Day.
Mhm. Nice.
And one of my personal favorites now is doing the Advent wreath leading up to Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I really feel there's a time of preparation
Mhm.
and a candlelight Christmas Eve service.
Oh, I love the candlelight Christmas Eve services. So good.
A lot of the kind of things like that my family used to do, we really don't do anymore.
Yeah. And everyone's kind of doing their own thing right now. So.
But the one thing is that we have a pickle ornament, and you hide the pickle ornament on the tree.
Oh, we did that too.
First gets to open the first present, or no, whoever finds it first gets to be Santa first. And so we have a Santa hat, and so Santa finds a present for everybody and hands them out, and then we go around the circle and everybody opens one present. And then they pass off the Santa hat, and then it happens again. That happens again. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the pickle ornament too.
That's so fun. And I like that too with the Santa hat.
We didn't do that at our house.
No,
I didn't.
It's a new tradition.
No, we actually started a while back, but yeah, the pickle's fun.
We have also this weird box. It's just like, it's not a very big box, but it's like every year it's who's going to get that box. It's like the reusable Christmas box. I mean, it's been taped together so many times, but it's like a big deal. Like, whose present is going to be in the Christmas box this year?
We have a Santa bag like that, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of fun and like special if you get like the pretty reusable box. That's fun.
No, it's not even pretty. It's like it's blue and it's got weird stuff on it. I think
we just had it forever.
Yeah, and it just kept reappearing. Now it's like it's legendary.
Well, hang on to it.
We don't do, everybody doing their own thing. We kind of did growing up a bit with you all when you were younger to do some of the more kind of creative things or singing or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I remember, I think I did like Sugar Plum Fairy variation at Christmas.
Oh, yes.
From the Nutcracker.
That's great. And yeah, that became a lot of our Christmas tradition then when you got into ballet was the Nutcracker. Mm-hmm. And usually I went to every single performance. So that was, 9 or 10 performances, sometimes 2 a day, Thursday through Sunday, 2 weeks in a row. So it was a lot of fun though. And seeing you in the different places. We always did the one gift at night, the Christmas Eve, the night before, and a Christmas Eve dinner. and some kind of usually candlelight service, as long as it wasn't snowing in Houston. We still do the one gift at a time and the Santa hat like you all do.
We do that too.
Because I love watching other people open the gift. That's so much of the joy of it, instead of just digging in and everybody kind of going through gifts. And, I love it. So it takes hours usually for us to get through Christmas morning.
Yeah. I have this really amazing Christmas memory of Papa.
Oh, yeah.
Months beforehand, we were talking about toys and stuff, and Papa said that he had never had a teddy bear. And I was just like, what? How could you never have had a teddy bear? So I decided I was going to get him a teddy bear for Christmas, but I didn't tell anybody. And I got him a teddy bear for Christmas, and I put it in the box, and and so he's getting ready to open it. And I'm like, Daddy, what do you think that is? And he kind of tossed the box up in the air and hugged it on the way down. He said, a teddy bear. And I was like, no. He just was guessing, but it was like,
so cool.
Holy cow. It really was a teddy bear. It was just one of those happy, just goofy memories,
That is awesome.
That's funny.
That's so sweet. Oh, I love that.
Did I bring in the gifts around like that? But one time, Mom and Dad had got me like a 125-piece tool set because I wanted tools because I had a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I think Dad didn't realize how heavy it was. He brought it over to me and just dropped it from his height to me sitting down onto my lap. And it was an interesting delivery. Let's just put it at that.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
He felt really
That
bad. I think when he released it, he realized what he had done. Because he was like,
Oh, no. Uncle Joe, do you have any current traditions that y'all like to continue on?
yeah, we do the pickle when we can find a pickle to put on the tree. It got broke a couple times, so there's been a couple of years that got dropped because the pickle got broke. We do the pickle.
Mm-hmm.
We do the one gift on Christmas Eve, which my girls usually try to make that more than one gift because they always get the pajamas, so they try not to count the pajamas on Christmas Eve.
Right, like that's not really the one gift,
Right. We always get those. We know we're getting those. So, and then
the matching PJs.
Yeah, there's actually kind of a funny tradition with this it's a snowman. It's just a head of a snowman with the Christmas hat on it. Creepy as heck. Heather or Dalen, I think, got at the Dollar Tree. And it's like this, it creeped them both out. So it keeps going around the family is where's that going to be hidden for a person?
Oh, no.
And it's usually like on the person's bedroom wall or something where, like one year it was in Dalen's office. And I mean, it's something that has kept going on this little creepy $1 ornament.
That's so funny. Kind of reminds me of Elf on the Shelf, but creepier.
Yeah, it's like a creepy snowman head on the.
I don't remember a lot from before, like of Christmases from before we moved to Arizona, but I do remember in California, we had aluminum Christmas tree.
Oh, that was
and there was this light at the bottom that spun, and so the tree would change colors. It was like
well, why did we do it? Because we waited too late to get a Christmas tree.
Well, I didn't know that. I just
It was
thought
also the 60s, so I mean.
But we did take that down and get a regular tree. And then I took the artificial one to kindergarten where I was teaching.
Oh, nice.
And I could decorate that and the kids could play with it. So it wasn't wasted.
That's where it went.
I thought that the wheel
to the tree
around and made it change colors was so cool.
That sounds really cool.
Joe, we will never, ever.
Oh, but it looked like cheap tin foil. It was
like aluminum foil. It was silver.
ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
But of course, in Lingerfelt tradition, that stayed around for many years because that was many years.
You're not going to throw it away.
And that aluminum tree made it to Arizona. Because I remember one time going through the decorations, like, what the heck is this? And hearing the whole
along with the chinchillas, right?
Let's don't talk about Chinchilla.
Okay, sorry. We'll leave that for another episode.
But you know the line in Charlie Brown Christmas where Lucy says, get a big aluminum Christmas tree? Well, we had a big aluminum Christmas tree.
I totally get that. And I think that, it was totally a 1960s kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's so true.
It was probably totally groovy.
It was
Totally groovy.
Totally groovy.
It was the first big mistake of Christmas to have that. It was not a Christmas tree. It was ugly, ugly, ugly.
That's so funny. Well, I know this year has been just weird and crazy and COVID and all, and just all the social distancing and isolation and everything. I know it's been a lot, but I thought it might be nice to think about going into Christmas in 2020. What's maybe one thing that you're grateful for or most grateful for? Because I know, at least for me during this time, it's been kind of like sort of a reset of like, what are the most important things, And anyway, so I would love to hear if everyone wants to share just, what's one thing that you're most grateful for going into this Christmas?
My Christmas is so weird living in a retirement community. And I do have a little tree in my room. Donna decorated and gave to me. So I have a little decorated tree. Because I didn't have Joey to put my big one together.
Well, we can't go into the building.
Nobody can help.
So nobody can help her.
Yeah.
So a small one makes the most sense.
We stuck it on the cart and they helped wheel it out.
Oh, that's good.
It was so cool. I went down and there was a Christmas tree.
Hmm.
But it's just so different because you don't have Christmas morning to open up presents and so forth. But there are other joys. And some of them, where I live, I have a lot of people, I have a lot of friends that really don't have anybody that comes. And so that's my challenge, is to be a friend.
Ooh, I love that. That's awesome. Well, you're definitely making a difference in your community there. So would everyone else like to share maybe one thing that you're grateful for going into Christmas this year?
I'm grateful that we have the technology to remain connected despite this horrid virus.
Mm-hmm.
My family's always been very precious to me, but I think it has multiplied it by, a huge amount, just the time that I can get together with them and cherish memories and cherish building memories rather than those material things. I always try to de-emphasize the material side of Christmas anyway, but even more so now. It's just kind of stripped it bare to where it should be, back to the manger, back to, the birth of a Savior in poverty, and how truly, truly blessed we are.
Yeah, that's so good.
It brings us back to what Christmas really is, And because, as parents, it can be hectic sometimes trying to get all the presents and get everything in place. But that's really not what Christmas is about. And I think I appreciate that more and more. I feel very alone this Christmas because people can't come over and so forth. So this has been a real treat. Thank you for doing this and bringing us together. It really means a lot. And this is Christmas for me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so thankful for my family here and for what they mean to me and how much care they take,
Mm-hmm. What about you, Aunt Donna?
Oh, wow. I'm just thankful that people are still healthy, and I am hopeful for Bethany as she's really fighting right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thankful for life right now.
That's so good. What about you, Mom?
Well, with Bethany struggling for her breath right now in COVID ICU, it just is so clear that it's just really about family and our Christian family and our other, our family, but our Christian family too, and the support and the love and encouragement and our relationship with God. Because without that, it would just be a nightmare to go through this. It's hard enough as it is and excruciating. But to have family and our Christian family that has buoyed us up with their love and encouragement and their prayers. And what Helen said, just the Zoom, we've been able to pray together even this afternoon and a couple of days ago. And we need that because we're so isolated in so many ways right now. And just every life and our family is so precious. And we're grateful that you're putting this together as special memories. And
Yeah. How about you, Uncle Joey?
In the midst of this crazy year, I have a lot to be thankful for, and new beginnings and family, definitely. And that I was fortunate enough, and my whole family was fortunate enough to keep employment through this horrible, virus. And of course, my heart is heavy about Bethany, but I'm definitely grateful for my family.
Yeah. And that's a good segue. We're kind of getting into a little bit of a wrap up. I know it's like, it always feels so short when we get into this. We'd love to hear as we wrap up, one word that you think of when you think of family, since this is our family Christmas episode. So maybe do we want to go backwards so we could go youngest to oldest this time?
Oh, great.
Sorry. You get to pick the word first. So
I was thinking I would use a bit of theirs, going down the road.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think a little bit of Helen's, a little bit of Julie's, a little bit of Donna's.
I have a younger one. I have a younger one here who would like to say something. So here comes neighbor Kate.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey.
So I'm the youngest of the whole family. So
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my amazing cousin, Aber Kate. She's beautiful and very talented singer and just amazing intellect as well. Anyways, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I just heard your prompt of one word that you think of when you think of family. And that's why I just hopped in over here, because I love our family so much. And I think that for all of the different kinds of people that exist within our family, there are so many amazing and, really, really different people that when we get together.
Amen.
Yeah, we're all so different. But when we get together, it is, this really amazing body of support. And so that's the word that I think of when I think of our family. I think of support. I know that no matter where I am at in my life, I can come to anyone and receive in our family and receive such an immense amount of support.
Amen for that.
And I am really grateful for that. So I just I felt called to share that.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you did. That was
So glad you
beautiful.
feel that way.
That was
Thank
so
you, Susan.
beautiful. Love you, Aber Kate.
I love you too. I'm going to go back to my practice LSAT.
You got this. Go, girl.
All right, Joey, we left you off the hook for just enough. You should have been able to pull something together.
Unpredictable.
I was going to say crazy,
Unpredictable.
but I wanted to keep it nice and
What were you going to say?
crazy. But
Family can be crazy sometimes.
but
It's
I'm
true.
not going to say crazy. That was just the first thought that came to mind. So I will say love.
Good.
Good. That's a good one.
How about Aunt Donna?
Well, messy came to mind. I think,
Especially with toddlers.
I don't think there is such a thing as a normal family or the perfect functional family. It just doesn't exist, and that's okay.
Wait till you live with folks home, then you'll get organized.
And no, I wasn't thinking about messy stuff. I mean, that's just a given. But I just sometimes relationships and stuff just get messy and things are hard. But so I guess I'm going to stick with that, messy.
Yeah. Beautiful mess sometimes.
Messes are fun, okay?
And I think you're right, Aunt Donna. I don't think there's a normal family out there,
First thing that comes to mind is love.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's where, love.
Seconding
That's where we
the
learn
love.
God's love towards us.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Aunt Helen?
Well, I was going to say unconditional love too, but since that's been taken, I think resilience.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Through the really difficult and challenging times like we're going through right now, as well as the good times.
Mm-hmm.
We have a solid foundation as a family. And there have been times where, cracks have developed, but the foundation has remained strong. And I think that's a tribute to Oma and Papa's legacy. Has remained strong and resilient.
Love that. How about you, Grandma?
Life sustaining. I would not want to have it any other way. The life I have is because of my children.
Oh, that's beautiful. And actually, that segues well to my very last question, or not really a question, but I just wanted to take a few minutes because we have Grandma on the call and we're just so thankful, like Aunt Helen said, for the legacy and the foundation that you and Papa have built and continue on. And just would love to have a chance for each of your kids to get to share a word of gratitude for you. And we'll just take a minute to do that. So
Mom, I've always been thankful for your unconditional love and support, that you've always been there. And Papa just exemplified to us what God's love is all about, that it's always there. It doesn't take account of the wrongs, for goodness knows we've all had so many different wrongs against each other, against ourselves, but you've always been there. And as a December birthday, thank you that I didn't just get one present that said happy birthday and Merry Christmas.
yes. Thanks, Aunt Helen.
I would use strong, because I think, through your childhood and just a lot of different things, I think you have surprised yourself many times at how strong you are and the things that you've come through. And I remember, being in the hospital one time with Dad's so sick, and you just were so strong. You were just really, really strong. And I think it does surprise you. And I think that you have been able to adapt in ways that you didn't think you would. Like if somebody had told you a gazillion years ago,
That's probably
you
true.
would have said, but you have. So that's what I see.
Thank you.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I think the legacy to me was that I knew Christ from an early age because of Mom and Dad. And they exemplified so much of Christ as living through them. And that we knew we were loved. We had our own, fun things and and our deep talks and everything else. But regardless, we knew there was a deep love there. And the strength of your marriage, I think, is really a legacy, and how you brought us and raised us in the knowledge of God.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good. You want to wrap this up, Uncle Joey?
Bring it home.
Bringing it home.
Bringing it home. Last but definitely not least.
Right, exactly. See, I should be the one saying that. Last but definitely not least.
I would say the legacy that you and Dad demonstrated to all of us kids, despite all of our craziness through the years, despite all of our hard times, there was always central figures that were there, and especially in my life. And that was definitely you and Dad. Whatever else was going on, the world blowing up, going crazy, whatever, that you're always going to have that love and support no matter what. When you're in the hardest of times, when you're in the best of times, it doesn't change. It's always a loving support and always that encouragement that you're there. I couldn't have been the father I was without the examples that I had from my parents. I can't repay that in any way, shape, or form, but I just hope the legacy continues down the line.
Thank you, Joey. It will.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. Thank you all so much. And I'll just say thank you to all of you for being such a huge impact on my life and continually, but also growing up and just all the fun memories. And it's been really fun to reflect on Christmases past and kind of look at this year. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful Christmas celebrating in our various locations.
Right. We're trying to coordinate a Christmas Day Zoom call too. So
yes, please do.
We'll work on that. That would be amazing. Yay. Well, I love you guys. Well, that officially wraps up our family Christmas series. Thank you all for listening. If you're enjoying the Creative Impact podcast, I would be so grateful if you would subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you would go and leave a rating and review on iTunes. Leaving a review helps other people to find the show as well. Next week is going to be a special time looking back at 2020 and highlighting some of the favorite moments from the podcast this year. Has there been an episode or a moment of the show that's impacted you? Let me know by emailing me at creativeimpactpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks so much again for listening to the show. If you're interested in supporting the show and getting bonus content, check out our Patreon community at the link on our website, or you can go to creativeimpactpodcast.com/Patreon. That's creativeimpactpodcast.com/Patreon. The music for the show is produced by Michael Cash. Share the show with a friend, and I'll see you next week for our final episode of 2020. Have a Merry Christmas!